Now on CoastTV News.
Farewell to Funland co-founder. Later this morning, it is the celebration of life of Al Fasnacht.
Tax Talk Tweaked, we look at the changes made to a Delaware bill that could affect how much you pay in income tax.
Farming families honored, the ones on the Eastern Shore recognized for over 100 years of operation.
A cold front sagging to the south this morning will bring a chance of showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. On and off showers into this upcoming weekend, but not a washout. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. It is Friday, April 4th, 2025.
We've been looking forward to our weekend plans, talking with Bob on and off during the breaks. Sounds like we have to keep our eye on the sky.
No, but we know you want to grill this weekend.
That's why that's what I'm talking about.
I know. That's all that's on Matt's mind. He's just excited about grilling, Bob. So let's please hope for our happiness on Monday that Matt can grill this weekend.
I'm hoping Matt can grill too, and everybody can enjoy their outdoor activities, Elisa, for the upcoming weekend. We will be looking at some rain showers, but it'll be on and off into the weekend. And right now we're looking at quiet conditions, dry across Sussex County, but we are watching showers and thunderstorms to the north. We've been seeing them moving through Middletown, into northern parts of Delaware, now into the Philly area. They've seen a couple of rounds of heavy storms moving into southern Jersey. And then there's another line that is east of Baltimore right now. There's a new marine warning for Talbot County as we are looking at these showers and storms moving towards the Bay Bridge right now and eventually into the eastern shore. And those extend all the way back into the D.C. area and Gainesville as well. I think they're losing their punch a little bit, but showers and definitely some rumbles of thunder across the area as we're watching this cold front sagging to the south, and the showers and storms also headed in that direction, but they're weakening as they do so, and we'll continue to watch those through the morning hours. We're looking at very mild conditions, lower 70s all across southern Delaware, 68 in Salisbury and Ocean Pines, and gusty southwesterly winds over 20 miles per hour. Could be stronger near that cold front and those storms a little bit later on. So Futurecast has us mild and muggy this morning. Then here comes that a line of showers and maybe some thunderstorms as we go through 9, 10, maybe 11 a.m. Watch for gusty winds and brief heavy rain. And then things do start to dry out this afternoon with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And I think we're okay into the evening hours. But keep the umbrella handy. Watch for wet roads and some lightning this morning. Otherwise, drying out into the afternoon and still more hit and miss showers into the weekend. Much more on that coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Our top story this hour, a celebration of life of Funland co-founder Al Fasnacht will take place in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was less than 2 weeks ago that we reported to you that the iconic figure of the Rehoboth Beach boardwalk had passed away at age 96. In 1962, he and his family took over a location on the boardwalk and renamed it Funland, making it the place to visit if you are in the nation's summer capital. Hershey is where Fasnacht's family's roots are, and it's where he graduated high school. CoastTV spoke with Fasnacht's family on the impact of his life.
He might not physically be here, but everything that he kind of embodied and what he taught us and what he kind of exemplified is, you can see it. You can see it here when people come to visit us.
And Curry says it will be strange without Fasnacht this upcoming season, but he is sure they will feel his presence and celebrate him at Funland. Celebration of Life will be live streamed starting at 11 a.m. on the First United Methodist Church of Hershey's YouTube channel.
Happening today, Fenwick Island is looking at cheaper parking costs for business employees and people who own property in the town. Here's what is expected to be debated at this afternoon's town council meeting. Reduce parking from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., but it would not apply everywhere. Town officials are targeting certain areas yet to be identified. Paid parking in Fenwick Island begins on May 15th, and today's town council meeting takes place at 1 p.m.
Yeah, also at that same meeting, the council could take action on a landscaping contract for the town's nature preserve. They're looking at over $7,000 for the Fawcett Oakey Family Nature Project. According to the request, the landscaping work could include installing a walking path, debris removal, and tree stump removal. The Oakey Family Nature Preserve is located on Bayard Street and Coastal Highway in Fenwick Island.
More discussion in Ocean City on the town's budget for fiscal year 2026. Today, the police department and the beach patrol are among the agencies going in front of the town council. According to the budget proposal, OCPD expects its operating expenses to increase by over $500,000. The Beach Patrol says its operating expenses are only expected to increase by over $25,000. All of this and budgets for other town agencies will be discussed today at 1 p.m.
New this morning, we have an update on changes that could affect the personal income tax rate in Delaware. Changes that were first proposed in a state House of Representatives bill. Now we're learning about the dialing back of some of those rates. A new act to House Bill 13 says people with a taxable income of under $135,000 will see no increase in personal taxes. In the original bill, those making over $125,000 would have had their rate go up. It's been over 2 months of inaction on House Bill 13, and now this update will be reviewed in the Revenue and Finance Committee.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore is honoring state farmers who achieved the 100-year milestone. 6 of the 9 families inducted into the Maryland Century Farm Program are from the Eastern Shore. These include Old Meadow Farm in Wicomico County, Castle Farm in Worcester County, and Windmill Creek Vineyard and Winery in Worcester County.
This just in, an investigation is underway into a deadly Amtrak crash. The train struck and killed 3 people who were on the tracks in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. According to a spokesperson for Amtrak, the crash happened just after 6 last night as the train was traveling from Boston to Richmond, Virginia. There were no reported injuries to the 236 passengers or crew on board, but local investigators say all 3 who were killed were family members. Here's a live look now at Washington, D.C. in the middle of your screen. You can maybe see a light or two on. That is the White House. It is there. I know most of it is in dark, but we are hitting the second full day of the new tariffs enacted by President Trump. The effects already being felt in the stock market. Trump insists the new tariffs will help the U.S.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us lawmakers and global leaders are weighing in on the big change to economies all over the world.
Amid a major market sell-off, Wall Street's worst day since the depths of the pandemic, President Trump downplaying the reaction to his sweeping new tariffs, arguing the economy is like a sick patient in recovery.
The operation's over, and now we let it settle in.
The global trade war, though, may only be ramping up. Trading partners from the European Union to the UK and Canada preparing retaliation.
That it's intended and will cause maximum impact in the United States.
President Trump suggesting the tariffs could change, framing them as a negotiating tool with other nations.
We're taking it to a whole new level because it's a worldwide situation.
The breadth and scope of the administration's tariffs overall rocking many small businesses like Rhoda Auto Repair that doesn't control where parts come from in a global supply chain.
It's steel and aluminum that goes into those parts. It's where those parts come from and are sourced and where they're manufactured.
All of that expected to drive up prices, and Democrats are hammering the impact on American consumers.
The Yale Budget Office projects that it will cost the average family $3,800 more this year.
As forecasters like J.P. Morgan up the chances of a global recession, administration officials are making a full court press to reassure.
We're going to have a booming stock market for a long time because we're reinvesting in the United States of America.
Adamant the tariff strategy will bring American manufacturing and jobs back to the U.S., a process economists warn may take years. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Coming up, patrol building progress when Rehoboth Beach says this building will be open for visitors.
Also mitigating Maryland drought. We'll tell you what experts say you can do to lessen the effects in that state.
And a new stadium could take the place of a once popular casino in Las Vegas, and we'll tell you how the sport team there has coastal connections. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
6:12 on our Friday morning. A mild and muggy one. FH Fur Cam showing a little bit of wave action out there in Cambridge, awaiting some showers and storms. So far, dry in Sussex County, but we're starting to see those storms making their way onto the eastern shore already through Philly and Jersey. And we'll be watching these storms moving in, already raining in Annapolis. And they're weakening a little bit, but they continue to press to the southeast. So a little bit of lightning, gusty winds, and heavy rain possible as we're watching this line of showers and storms moving to the south and east into Delmarva as we go through the morning hours as a cold front moves through. So pack the umbrella and patience, and especially north and west of Sussex County, that's where we'll see some of the heavier rain and lightning through about mid-morning. Then a cold front comes through. Then we're drier later this afternoon for the afternoon commute. I gave you the green light with temperatures in the 60s and 70s.
Lane closures coming to Georgetown next week. They're expected to last most of the month. According to Del.D, Delmarva Central Railroad Company needs to conduct maintenance on the crossing at East Market Street. This means lane closures will be in place beginning Wednesday, April 9th at 9 a.m. And Del.D says work is expected to finish on April 25th.
And in Seaford, lane closures will take place starting April 9th. According to Del.D, this will be on Bridgeville Highway from Ross Street to Virginia Avenue. The agency says to also expect closures on Virginia Avenue between Bridgeville Highway and Freedom Park. The project includes a new sidewalk, curb, and drainage work, along with turning two intersections into four-way stops. Del.D says those closures could last until May.
On your screen, we are seeing progress of the Sussex Consortium Peer-to-Peer Initiative. Cape Henlopen School District says this program connects students in the consortium with students at Mariner Middle School. The district says this has already increased comfort and confidence in students when interacting with their neurotypical peers. This is done in small groups, and the program is aiming to improve social skills outside of a school setting.
The potential new baseball home for Rehoboth Beach's Zach Geloff is one step closer to becoming a reality. Clark County commissioners voted unanimously to approve permits and other zoning changes for the Athletics' new stadium on the Las Vegas Strip. It will be located around the site where the Tropicana Hotel and Casino once stood. Construction is expected to begin later this year and will be completed by 2028.
QVC Group has joined forces with TikTok full-time. The Pennsylvania-based company, which owns QVC and Home Shopping Network, announced the launch of a 24/7 live shopping channel on the social media platform. And the CEO of QVC Group says this deal will, quote, be a catalyst to transform shopping and discovery.
We're starting to see daylight right now in the town of Razor Cam. Lots of clouds in Lewis, and we're looking at 72 degrees. And it is a muggy morning, and we're looking at showers and storms to our north and west, dropping to the south and east, perhaps affecting us through the morning hours, and then a bit cooler behind that cold front later today. More on and off showers into the weekend. Not a washout. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 6:17, and we are getting a live look at a cloudy Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis, and a rain system, Bob, has moved closer to Delmarva over the past hour.
That's right, Matt. It's a cold front that's triggered big thunderstorms near Philly, into New Jersey, and now those showers and storms make their way into the eastern shore. They're losing their punch a little bit, but here they come. So if you're headed up to the Bay Bridge, Annapolis has already seen thunder and lightning, and that's moving on to the eastern shore now. With the heavier activity through Philadelphia, they've already had a couple of rounds of showers and storms, heavy rain, vivid lightning that's moving through New Jersey, and then it extends farther back to the west into central parts of Pennsylvania. And then along that front, it also kind of sags down from Elkton down to Annapolis right now and east of the D.C. area as this is moving to the south and east right now. So I did track it out, this line moving to the southeast around 35 miles per hour. So if you live in Ruthsburg around 6:35, expect heavy rain, maybe some vivid lightning. Dover at 6:59, some showers and storms, and then Harrington around 7:10, and then we'll have to see if that still holds together as it moves farther to the south and east. But all in all, this is weakening. Not expecting severe weather, but brief heavy rain, gusty winds as this front is slowly sagging our way. And you can see this heavier activity around D.C. through Philly and around the New York City area too. And then this front extends farther to the south and west. In fact, they could be looking at catastrophic flooding into the weekend across the Tennessee Valley, as this front is not moving very much for them. It's very mild ahead of that front. 70 in Delmar, 71 in Georgetown, 71 in Bethany Beach right now, with Salisbury at 68. So it feels more like early June instead of early April. Very mild and muggy out there as we have a southwesterly breeze right now, and that wind gusting up to 24 miles per hour in Indian River Inlet, 23 in Georgetown, and maybe a little gustier as some of those showers and storms move through a little bit later this morning. So 7 a.m. on Futurecast, we're still dry. It's mild and muggy, breezy too, at temperatures in the 60s. By 8:30, you start to see some of those showers making their way into northwest Sussex County. By 10 a.m., maybe some heavy rain, some rumbles of thunder as well as the system is moving through. But by late this morning, that front has moved to the south. The winds have shifted to the north and northeast, and we're into the 60s and low 70s. So temperatures pretty much steady throughout the day, inland areas, but much cooler at the beaches with 50s and then 60s inland areas as we go into this evening. And then through the overnight, we're dry until about 3 a.m. where we could see another round of some showers, maybe some thunderstorms through very early Saturday morning. And then much of Saturday is just kind of cloudy and cool with temperatures in the 50s. And then we're going to see temperatures surge in the afternoon, late afternoon and evening into the 70s, close to 80 around Salisbury, cooler at the beaches. Big temperature contrast there. We're looking at those winds gusty this morning, especially around some of those thunderstorms. Then you can see that wind shift this afternoon come out of the northeast, and it will start to cool us down tonight into Saturday morning. And then by the afternoon and evening, as a southerly wind kicks in, we have a big warm up. So up and down temperatures. And then we finally have a strong cold front moving through later Sunday evening, Sunday night, early Monday. Could see another round of heavy rain and maybe thunderstorms, and then much colder air follows this front. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. We're watching for those morning showers and storms today, and then drier behind that front later on. 71, 72 Saturday with the morning showers, and then we're dry until Sunday afternoon and evening when more rain moves in. 74, heavier rain into early Monday, and then much cooler Monday through Wednesday. Highs in the low 50s, and look at those overnight lows. 30s beginning Tuesday morning. A hard freeze, I'm thinking, Wednesday morning. Keep that in mind. And then 58 by Thursday, a bit warmer with a mix of sun and clouds.
Thanks, Bob. We're going to continue on this dry theme. Most of Maryland is under a drought warning. State officials say it's not a critical situation yet, but that's what they're trying to avoid. The Maryland Department of the Environment says below average rain and snow for the past year has led to the warning. But now there's a little better news for the Eastern Shore. The department says it's not as bad as the rest of the state. And according to the department, there are several things Marylanders can do to minimize drought conditions.
Fix leaks. We can make sure that when we're brushing our teeth, we're turning off the water. That conserves water. If we're outside washing our car, we can make sure that we have a nozzle on our hose that turns on and off so that when we go to rinse the car, we turn the nozzle on. When we're washing it, we turn the nozzle off.
And Curry says taking these kinds of steps now can help the Eastern Shore avoid a much more serious situation when we are in the heat of summer.
A Laurel investigation comes to an end after the police department says they arrested a man on drug-related crimes Thursday. According to police, first they issued a notice of increased presence as they investigated in the area of West 8th Street. Officers say they found drug paraphernalia as well as amounts of crack cocaine and crystal meth. 48-year-old Ronell Jacobs of Laurel is now facing several misdemeanor charges.
This weekend brings color, creativity, and cardio. Don't go anywhere. Your cool things to do are coming up next.
In Rehoboth Beach, the city says the new beach patrol station may be done on May 16th, according to the most recent timeline from the city. In December of 2023 is when preliminary site and utility work began on the Beach Patrol headquarters. The site of the new Beach Patrol is just feet away from the beach off of Baltimore Avenue. As that project stands, it is $750,000 over budget. One local CoastTV spoke with says the project is scheduled to finish up at the perfect time.
People that come during the summertime feel safer because of it being state of the art and being up so high so that they can really see the beach and everything.
And the city says right now crews are pouring flooring and installing siding into the Beach Patrol station as that May 16th completion day is quickly approaching. And Matt, it's Friday, it's warm, this is exciting, but we are seeing some lightning on some of those cameras. Might have people worried about their weekend plans.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times.
Yeah.
It is a weekend, Bob, that
It
we
is.
are also expecting to have some very warm temperatures.
We are. It's very mild this morning. I did see some lightning north looking from the Bay Health Cam in Milford. So we are watching showers and storms that are weakening as they head towards our neck of the woods, and maybe a few showers at the beaches as we go into the afternoon and the day with shifting winds. Assateague and Chincoteague, we're in the 60s to around 70 around the noon hour, especially around Chincoteague. And then cooling down into the afternoon, maybe a shower later on in Chincoteague. And then in Fenwick Island and Ocean City, lots of clouds, a few showers from time to time, and then cooler by this evening as that wind's coming off the ocean. We've got changes for Cambridge with showers and storms this morning, maybe a few more Saturday and into Sunday as well, especially later Sunday with 70s, and similar conditions in Crisfield. I think you're going to see some chances of rain into the weekend as well. I'll have much more on the weekend forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Spring is coming alive on the coast, and as we've been talking about, so are your weekend plans.
And whether you're looking to get active, soak in some nature, or celebrate local art, Coast TV News anchor Christina DeRobertis has your cool things to do.
It is that time of year. The air is fresh, the flowers are blooming, and there's plenty of reasons to get outside. This weekend, you're going to want to wake up and smell the tulips. The 16th annual Lewis Tulip Celebration is back and running all month long. You can take a colorful stroll around the city, courtesy of the Lewis Chamber of Commerce and Lewis in Bloom. Also in Lewis on Saturday, you can run for a cause. The second annual Race for Open Space kicks off at George H.P. Smith Park with a 5K and a 1-mile walk passing by the 4th Street Preserve. All proceeds help protect this 29-acre Sussex County gem. It's all about art in Milton this weekend as the Milton Arts Guild celebrates 20 years. From 6 to 10 p.m. at Camp Arrowhead, enjoy music by the Hot Sauce Band, drinks from Dogfish Head, a s'more station, a silent auction, and more. Or you can cheer on the Brave Souls tackling 26.2 miles this Saturday at the Salisbury Marathon. It starts at 7 a.m. You can sign up yourself or cheer the runners on as they sprint, jog, or just try to survive. For some more details, you can head over to CoastTV.com and check out the Cool Things to Do article.
Now on Coast TV News.
Celebration of life.
You can see it. You can see it here when people come to visit us.
Today, family and friends will honor and pay respects to the late co-founder of the Rehoboth Beach institution, Funland.
Agriculture Appreciation Maryland honors Eastern Shore farmers for over 100 years of operation.
Evening rates reduced. That is what Fenwick Island officials are considering when it comes to parking for the summer season.
A cold front sagging to the south this morning will bring a chance of showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. On and off showers into this upcoming weekend, but not a washout. Details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
April 4th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 6:32. Probably some April showers this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's warm. We had some crazy weather this week. It's pretty all over the place.
Yeah, you know, I am fine with the temperatures in the 60s.
I am too.
If you get a little rain, but as long as it's not like a deluge or drenching for the entire weekend.
Yeah, but Bob, the wardrobe this weekend, it's been all over the place with jackets and no jackets.
Oh my gosh. The ice scraper 2 days ago where we had the frost, and now it's like shorts and t-shirt and temperatures in the 70s. It's been crazy. Now we're looking at lots of clouds, mild and muggy conditions, awaiting showers and thunderstorms. They've been rumbling all across the Philly area really all morning long, back into New Jersey, lots of lightning and heavy rain. And now that activity is dropping into areas of northern Delaware, around the Bear area and Smyrna. And then we're tracking this line that is moving our way, at least onto the eastern shore. Nothing severe, but some brief heavy rain, vivid lightning. I have tracked out this line that's moving to the southeast around 35 miles per hour. So if you live in these following locations, Smyrna 634, Dover 649, we're going to be looking at lightning and heavy rain. Milford around 716, and Fellersburg Pittsburgh around 7:24. But this line is weakening as this cold front continues to shift to the south. So I'm not expecting anything in the way of severe weather, maybe gusty winds and vivid lightning from time to time. We are looking at temperatures very mild, 60s and low 70s, 70 in Seaford, 71 in Milton right now, and 71 in Bethany Beach. And we're seeing those gusty winds ahead of that cold front up to 25 miles per hour. Could be even gustier around some of those thunderstorms through this morning as we're tracking those storms dropping to the south. And you can see how these arrows change direction. That's a cold front, and we could be looking at some showers later this morning with that rumble of thunder. Then it dries out this afternoon with 60s and 70s away from the coast, but 50s at the beaches with that onshore flow. So for the kiddos at the bus stop, we're looking at that chance of rain and maybe some storms. So keep that in mind as we're looking at off to school temperatures around 70 degrees, improving conditions heading home, breezy and mild conditions, and right around 70 degrees.
Thank you, Bob. New this morning, a celebration of life of Funland co-founder Al Fasnacht will take place in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was less than 2 weeks ago that we reported to you that the iconic figure of the Rehoboth Beach boardwalk had passed away at age 96. In 1962, he and his family took over a location on the boardwalk and renamed Funland, making it the place to visit if you are in the nation's summer capital. Hershey is where Fasnacht's family roots are and where he graduated from high school. The celebration of life will be live streamed starting at 11 a.m. on the First United Methodist Church of Hershey's YouTube channel.
Funland is scheduled to open on May 10th, and this is the 63rd year of the amusement park operation under the Fasnacht family ownership. According to the book that details the history of Funland, the Land of Fun, Fasnachts paid $175,000 to buy the old sports center, and there are actually 5 rides from the sports center that are still at Funland, including the boats and fire engines. It is estimated that over 250,000 people visit Funland each year.
More discussion in Ocean City on the town's budget for fiscal year 2026. Today, the police department and the beach patrol are among the agencies going in front of the town council. According to the budget proposal, OCPD expects its operating expenses to increase by over $500,000. The Beach Patrol says its operating expenses are only expected to increase by over $25,000. All of this and budgets for other town agencies will be discussed today at 1 p.m.
Fenwick Island is looking at cheaper parking costs for business employees and for people who own property in the town. Here's what expected to be debated at this afternoon's council meeting. Reduced parking from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. and it would not be anywhere. Town officials are targeting certain areas, but they've yet to identify those. Paid parking in Fenwick Island begins on May 15th, and this potential change is something people living in the town think is a good idea.
I think that would be beneficial to both parties. I don't see it being a problem for the evening rush hour.
And today's council meeting takes place at 1 p.m.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore is honoring state farmers who have achieved the 100-year milestone. 6 of the 9 families inducted into the Maryland Century Farm Program are from the Eastern Shore. These include Old Meadow Farm in Wicomico County, Castle Farm in Worcester County, and Windmill Creek Vineyard and Winery in Worcester County.
Now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. In the middle of your screen, you see a little bit more of the White House than we did about a half hour ago. The clock is running out as TikTok must reach a deal today to stay active in the U.S.
An extension from President Donald Trump runs out tomorrow. It's unclear if finalizing a deal today is feasible, but the White House says it is crafting a plan to avoid the ban.
Amy Kiley shows us where those negotiations stand.
It'll come out before the deadline.
The White House says it's working on a deal to keep TikTok in U.S. app stores. A bipartisan law is set to ban it over national security concerns, unless its Chinese parent company ByteDance sells it. TikTok is operating on an extension that ends tomorrow.
You want to make sure that the TikTok app in the United States is not spying on people. Right. It's good for national security. You also want to give people access to this incredible platform.
Under the U.S. law, ByteDance must sell at least 80% ownership. China seems reluctant to allow that. President Donald Trump is floating the idea of using tariffs as leverage.
It doesn't matter how many investors want to buy this U.S. app of TikTok. Does China want to let them buy it is the big question. They have indicated that they don't.
A deal also must meet 2 other requirements. The first is TikTok and ByteDance can't coordinate on data sharing due to privacy concerns. Analysts say that could be doable since the U.S. company Oracle now stores that information. The second is ByteDance can't control TikTok's algorithm for fear China could use it to influence Americans. That's a sticking point that Trump once proposed addressing with a lease agreement.
If you're licensing the algorithm, I don't personally understand how you're solving for that problem, but I'm sure that's something that the U.S. government is talking about with this deal.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We are hitting the second full day of the new tariffs enacted by President Donald Trump. The effects are already being felt in the stock market. The president and vice president insist the new tariffs will help the U.S., arguing the economy is like a sick patient in recovery. The global trade war, though, may only be ramping up. Trading partners from the European Union, the U.K., and Canada preparing retaliation.
We're going to have a booming stock market for a long time because we're reinvesting in the United States of America.
That it's intended and will cause maximum impact in the United States.
It's a mixed picture so far for companies like Hyundai and Apple announcing new investments in U.S. plants and jobs, while automaker Stellantis says it's temporarily laying off 900 workers in the U.S. as it pauses production in Mexico and Canada.
We still have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, library looks for shelf help. We'll tell you why a library in Snow Hill could be overdue for some new bookshelves.
Also, the Shorebirds open their 2025 season tonight in Virginia. We have a look at the makeup of this year's team. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
It is 6:42 on this mild and muggy Friday morning. Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam showing darkening skies in Laurel right now, 70 degrees, awaiting showers and storms that are moving onto the eastern shore as we speak, but they're starting to weaken, but we're seeing them moving into the Dover area around Easton, Annapolis, and Chestertown with showers and also some embedded lightning. So if you live in these following locations, watch for some showers, maybe a little bit of lightning as they move to the south and east. Much heavier activity farther to the north right now, but we'll continue to watch this line moving in with the cold front. Excuse me. With some showers through the morning hours. I have gone with the large coffee this morning, not the XL because it is so warm out. 71 morning showers, afternoon mild and breezy. Congratulations to Pam Rossi from Rehoboth Beach on winning a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. One major road in Salisbury will be getting an update. According to the mayor, Carroll Street will have improved traffic flow and accessibility for drivers, bikers, and pedestrians. This comes after a 2020 review of that roadway. Work includes creating 2 lanes for cars in each direction. It could begin as soon as the city says it should take place this spring.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yes, Worcester Prep boys lacrosse is out to a 4-0 start. The Mallards can win in Maryland or in Delaware. Prep top Caravel Academy 14-4 up at DE Turf yesterday. Ryan Mann paced the Mallards with 5 goals in the win. Prep has a chance to move to 5-0 this afternoon at Indian River. Mallards and Indians play in Berlin at 4 o'clock. Over at Cambridge, Parkside boys lacrosse is 3-0 to begin the year. The Rams beat the Vikings 16-1 yesterday. Parkside's next game is against Worcester Prep on Monday at 4 o'clock. We will have that game streaming on DSN+. Cape Henlopen girls soccer is also unbeaten. Ava Brown scored twice and Lillian Holidick had the other tally as the Vikings blanked Sussex Tech 3-0 last night in our game of the night. The Lady Vikings' next game is this Saturday against Sussex Academy. The Seahawks are also off to a strong start at 3-1. And we are just 4 days away from our first Shorebirds game of the night on DSN. Delmarva opens its season at the Salem Red Sox tonight. The Shorebirds return outfielders Brylan Tavera and Kevin Guerrero. This year's Shorebirds also feature the Orioles' number 9 prospect, Keeler Morphe. The 5'8" righty is just 18 years old. First pitch tonight in Salem is set for 6:35 against the Red Sox affiliate. We will have the home opener next Tuesday on DSN. That's it for sports. Have a great day, everybody.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 4:30, we have Major Arena Soccer League men's playoffs. 5 seed faces the 4 seed. And then at 7:30, the 6 seed plays the 3rd seed. You can also catch the final score at 10:30. And on the DSN Plus app, along with that soccer playoff action, here are your exclusives. At 4, Indian River plays at Worcester Prep. That's in boys lacrosse. And also at that time, high school girls soccer when Delaware Military Academy visits Del Mar.
And here's a look at what's coming up this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Happy Friday. We're getting closer and closer to the weekend. But first, you got to join us for Coast Life today at 4. Let's see what's coming up.
And we're going to be looking back at our winners of the week, giving them a couple awards, little statues, if you will.
Always a fun time. We also had a chance to get a behind-the-scenes look at the grand opening of Preston's Midway Auto and Tire Center and all the ways that they're serving coastal Delmarva.
And I feel like I said this every Friday, but we have just the goodest dog for our pet of the week. You really got to see this one.
Because every dog is the goodest dog. All that fun is coming up today for a Friday edition of Coast Life. We'll see you then.
The time is now 6:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach this morning. And Bob, we can see some of that sun starting to come up. It's beautiful, but enough about that. You have some exciting weekend plans. You're going to go seal watching tomorrow with your wife. That's exciting.
Yes, and me and my wife are hoping for quiet weather tomorrow. We're leaving from the ferry terminal in Lewis tomorrow morning, and I think it's going to be kind of murky, maybe a little misty, but I think any kind of morning shower should be moving off. So hopefully we see some seals at that time. But we're looking at some showers that are now moving on to the eastern shore, maybe some embedded thunderstorms and some heavier thunderstorms near Dover and back into the Delaware Bay right now. But Annapolis back through Oxford and then farther to the north and east and near Elkton, we are looking at those showers and storms. I tracked out this line that is moving to the southeast around 35 miles per hour. So if you live in the following locations, watch for showers, maybe some lightning and some brief heavy rain. Not expecting anything severe. We have been seeing more severe weather through the Philly area into New Jersey with rounds of storms there. And then that rain extends farther to the south and west and Baltimore. And the line that was moving through the I-95 corridor is beginning to weaken. So we will continue to watch this line moving to the south and east. And as this activity is moving away from the cold front, it looks like it's losing its punch a little bit. But that said, still some scattered showers, I think, for Sussex County as we go through the morning hours. As this frontal system is dropping to the south, more activity farther to the south and west along a stationary front, and this could cause a big problem across the Tennessee Valley. They could see over a foot of rain and maybe catastrophic flooding for them. We're not looking at that, but right now we're looking at mild temperatures in the 60s and low 70s ahead of that cold front and gusty winds over 20 miles per hour. So let's track it out on Futurecast. Here's 8:30, still awaiting those showers that will be dropping into Sussex County, weakening as they do so. You can see how the arrows switch here as that cold front is moving through. The winds turn to the north, and by noon, any kind of shower activity should be done as temperatures actually fall back into the 60s, even 50s at the beaches. And that was some afternoon sunshine. I think we'll recover back into the 60s and 70s. Your Friday evening plan should be okay, dry and a little cooler, and then through the overnight, dry until about 3 a.m. And then we could see another round of showers into very early Saturday morning, and then those shift offshore. And with an onshore breeze, I think much of Saturday is cloudy and kind of chilly until later in the afternoon as we see a warm front coming through, and then temperatures warming into the 70s, close to 80 well inland later on Saturday afternoon, and 50s at the beaches, and then looking pretty mild into Saturday evening. As we're watching that front coming through, we're going to see those winds shifting to the northeast and then the east, and then that will be a chilly wind into Saturday morning, and then the warm front moves through, and then we're looking at, well, a big warm up later Saturday afternoon, and then later Sunday we're watching for a cold front that could bring heavy rain and maybe thunderstorms into Monday morning, followed by very cold air and probably a frost and freeze next week. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. Unsettled today into the weekend, hit and miss showers every once in a while. By Sunday, 74, and then late day showers into early Monday. Could be heavy too, and then much cooler 50s Monday through Wednesday. Overnight lows in the 30s. I'm thinking a hard freeze by Wednesday morning down to 30 degrees. Keep that in mind as we head into next week.
Thank you, Bob. A library in Worcester County needs some support for its books. Since opening in 1975, the shelves at the Snow Hill Library have not been replaced, and over the years, the weight of thousands of books has taken its toll. Some of the shelves are now slanted, so the library wants to replace them.
Well, we're really proud to have been in this library for 50 years, and we want to keep it looking as wonderful as it did when it first opened. So, having new shelving will certainly create more space for us. We'll be able to do some displays actually within the shelves.
And the project to replace the shelves is expected to cost nearly $200,000.
The time is now 6:52, so we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And in this hour, our coastal pet of the day, as it does on every Friday, comes to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. That is Penny on your screen. Penny loves head rubs and loves taking naps. She's friendly and easily warms up to new people and places. And if you want to adopt Penny or Hendrix, who we saw last hour, or another furry friend, you can do so at the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
Matt, I hope your wife is watching. Penny would look like a good addition.
Kind of looks like Baker, our other cat.
Aw, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Scan that QR code. That way you can get your friends to us at Coast TV News. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. We'll be right back.
It is 6:55 and it's time for the things you need to know before you go. A celebration of life of Funland co-founder Fasnacht will take place in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was less than 2 weeks ago we reported to you that the iconic figure of the Rehoboth Beach boardwalk passed away at the age of 96. In 1962, he and his family took over a location on the boardwalk and renamed it Funland, making it the place to visit if you are in the nation's summer capital.
Fenwick Island looking at cheaper parking costs for business employees and also for people who own property in the town. Here's what's expected to be debated at this afternoon's town council meeting. Reduced parking from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Town officials are targeting certain areas yet to be identified, and paid parking in Fenwick Island that begins on May 15th.
And at 6:56, we're going to take another look at your Friday forecast.
Bob, let's have ourselves a weekend.
Absolutely.
Let's do it and keep it totally dry. Well, that's not going to happen. I think we're looking at on and off showers, and we're seeing some of those showers this morning moving into the eastern shore. Have your umbrella handy. It looks like they're losing their punch, but they're moving south and east across the eastern shore into areas to our north. So if you live in these following locations, watch for showers and maybe a little bit of lightning as the cold front comes through, and then we'll start to dry out later in the day. As we look at our day part forecast, heads up for showers and storms through about mid-morning, about 10 a.m., and then this afternoon drier around 70. I'm going 71 for the high on the Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Morning showers Saturday, otherwise warmer in the afternoon, 72. 74 Sunday, late day rain and heavy rain into Monday morning, then much colder through midweek, highs in the 50s. A hard freeze, I'm thinking, by Wednesday morning, and a little bit of a warm up, more rain later Friday into Saturday.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV Midday at 11.
Until then, have a great Friday, everybody.